All right, Rams, here is your video to go over test corrections. If you are going to do your retest for a higher grade, you must complete this, okay? You must show the work and do every problem, okay? Or any problem that you did not have 100% correct, okay? Problem 1 here. 5 friends are going to dinner. The total cost was less than $35, right? An inequality to determine how much each friend spent and represent that on a number line. So my beginning problem is that I know it would be a division problem because I would take my 35 to divide by 5 to figure out how much each person spent. So I'm going to write it as a multiplication. Remember, I have to use the inverse operation, okay? So 5 times the amount that each person spent must be less than a total of 35. Okay, that is my beginning inequality. But now I want to actually solve it. So to solve, I divide them both by 5 because I want to isolate the variable. And my answer here, I'm left with m is less than 7. That is your answer. If you just said equals 7 or if you just said 7, it's not true. That means each person must spend less than $7, okay? So a lot of people had trouble. They got mixed up with the less than. So let's look right here at the graph. Okay, it's less than, so it's not equal to. That means it is an open circle because it cannot be 7. Okay, it cannot be 7. It's got to be less than. So 7 is not included in that. So it's an open circle and it goes to the left. Okay, there were 2 parts to that problem there. Solving this and then also having that right. Number 2, there are 360 students in the school band. 75% of them are ready to compete in the next competition. How many students are ready to compete in the next band competition? So a couple of things here. This is our percent model. So I'd have 0 and 0 here. So 100%. And then 360 students. So this is my percent, this is students. Now, I can look at 75% is what I want to know. I want to know 75%. What number right here represents 75%? So to find that, there are a few things that I could do, a few strategies, okay? I could do part over whole equals percent over 100. So what number out of 360 would give me 75% out of 100? You could cross multiply and divide. You could simplify that to 3/4 and figure it out. That's one way. You could also look through this problem right up here and say, well, what is 25% or 1/4 of 360? Well, 1/4 of 36 would be 9. So it's 90. And then it's 3/4 because 1/4, 2/4, 3/4. So 25 times 3 is 75. So 90 times 3 is 270. Now, some of you did cross multiply and divide. Some of you just multiplied diagonally and you got like 27,000. You can't forget, you have to go right here. But also, if you think about reasonableness, 27,000 cannot be the answer. You cannot say that 27,000 students are ready to compete in the competition when there are only 360 students total. That doesn't quite make sense, okay? All right, next one. What is the solution for this equation? I just want to know what n equals. And a lot of people got this one right. This was a good problem. The common mistake I saw is that we got mixed up on our rules there, okay? So what did I do to my variable? I added 6. So the opposite of adding 6 is subtracting 6. Okay, so 6 and negative 6, they cancel, and I'm left with n equals, and I only put in equals because there's an equals up there. Now, a lot of people put 2 right here. Be careful, negative 4 minus 6 is not 2. Negative 4 minus negative 6. That's keep, change, change. So it's negative 4 plus positive 6. Okay, I mean, right there. Negative 4, oh, actually it's plus negative 6. Sorry, negative 4 plus negative 6 would be a negative 10. Sorry, I was doing what most of you did. Okay, it's not going to be a 2, it is a negative 10. We have 4 negatives, and we can either say we're subtracting 6 or we are adding 6 negatives, okay? All right, a lot of people here seem to make this one way more complicated than it had to be. Okay, explain how you determine which one of these expressions has a product less than 3/8. Now, this was that thing about reasonableness and multiplication. Okay, if I am multiplying all of these numbers by 3/8, that's the same. So the rule says if I multiply a number by 1, so 3/8 times 1 would just be 3/8. But if I multiply by anything greater than 1, my answer will be greater than 3/8. So greater than 3/8. 3/8 times 2 is greater than 3/8. 3/8 times 5/9. Okay, these are two fractions less than one whole. So my answer will be less than either one of them. Okay, it'll be less than either one of them. But you remember that rule, okay? If I have one number less than one whole and one number greater than one whole, my answer is between them. All right, let's kind of go through. So I'm going to switch pages here. All right, a lot of people also on this one had a little trouble, and I did not expect it. Okay, the problem right here is already in there. It is 12b is greater than 180. Okay, nobody counted off for that part. But the problem is that we got to an answer and we didn't actually tell us what the answer was. Okay, we're trying to solve it. What is b? So this is a multiplication problem, so I have to do the opposite, which is dividing by 12, dividing by 12. And a lot of you did your division over here. You said 180 divided by 12, and you got 15, and you moved on. The problem is the answer is not 15. The answer is not 15. The answer is B is anything greater than 15. Okay, this is a step, but it's not the answer. This is your solution. You've got to get to that point, okay? Now, greater than means open circle, okay? That right there means open circle because it is not a greater than or equal to. So it's an open circle at 15 that goes to the right. Okay, and that's how we know it's correct. Okay, number 6. Oh, I hope I don't run out of room on my video here. It is 450 feet from Jonathan's house to his friend Billy's house. So this is just feet to yards. A lot of you got an answer that's really large because you multiplied. But if I know that there are 3 feet in 1 yard and I have 450 feet, I know the yards is less than the number of feet. So I could say, well, 3 times 150 is 450. So 1 times 150 is 150 yards. Okay. You may pause this as much as you need. I have a time limit here on my videos, okay? A recipe for cookies requires 5/3 cup of butter. Okay, it's a certain amount. That's 1 2/3 cups. Miss Taylor wants to make 1/5 of that recipe. So she only wants to make a part of that amount. So we know we're going to use less than this. Okay, how many cups of butter? Well, what we want to know is 1/5 of 5/3, correct? We want 1/5 of the amount of cookies, so we're going to need 1/5 of the amount of butter. The rule is when you have a fraction of another number, it just means multiply. So 1/5 times 5/3. 1 times 5 is 5. 5 times 3 is 15. Well, I accepted that. Or simplifying it. So I could divide them both by 5 and get 1/3. Okay. Oh, I'm going to have to hurry here. This one, the answer was C. Okay, if you look at it up here, this is a multiplication problem. So you have to think about which one of these I could solve with division. So this one is because it says that Ricardo ran a total of 10.75 miles. So just say he ran 10 miles and he runs 5 miles per hour. What is the number of hours that he has to run? That would be 2. Okay, so you could think about the division in there. All right. This one is one I really wanted to be able to get to today. Okay, a lot of people made mistakes here. So first thing I'm going to do is my parentheses. So 16 minus 6 is 10. 3 to the 3rd power times 7, parentheses 10, divided by 3 plus negative 2. Okay, I did my parentheses. Now my exponents go next. A lot of you jumped up here and tried to do that first. You can't. 3 to the third power is not 9. It's 3 times 3, which is 9, times another 3. So that's 27 times, oh, I left off that 7 there, I'm sorry. Times 7 times 10 divided by 3 plus negative 2. Next thing I have multiplying and dividing next. So I'm going to have to go left to right. I have to save that subtracting till the end, okay? 27 times 7, that's where I can go over here. $189, is that right? So 49, yep. 189 times 10 divided by 3 plus negative 2. Okay, now I'm going to keep going left to right. 189 times 10 is 1,890. Remember, I add a 0. Divided by 3 plus negative 2. I'm going to go over here and do my division. 1890 divided by 3. 3 times 6 is 18, and I subtract. I bring down my 9. 3 times 3 is 9. A lot of you stopped right here. Okay, you have to be careful, though, because there is another 0 here. I can't stop until I have put a number above that last digit there, okay? So this says that 3 goes into 0 0 times, okay? So it's 630 plus negative 2. A lot of people got to 632, and I gave some partial credit there because that is just a calculation error, and you knew all the steps, but we have to be very careful. Adding a negative is the same thing as subtracting. This would be 630 minus 2, which is 628. Okay. And last one here. Amanda is 15. So Amanda is 15. The sum of Drew's and Amanda's age is 26. So Amanda plus Drew is 26, and she's 15. So 15 plus what number equals 26? Well, I could put an X there if I wanted. Subtract 15, subtract 15. I'm left with X equals 11. Okay. If you showed all the work, now you can pause it all you need and watch it again as much as you want, but if you showed all the work on this and brought it in, then you will have the opportunity for a retest.